Today, we're going to talk about rotation and the implementation. I had it right. Today, we're going to... How do I sit? Is Gray slimming? I feel like Gray is slimming. Like, I look good, right? I look good. You don't need to tell me. So today, we're going to talk about banless, or the possibility of a rotation when it comes to Bakugan. So, the recent controversy that sparked this whole conversation arose from us getting conflicting answers from either Bakugan, well, I guess Bakugan as a whole, but like the individual people inside Bakugan. First, Ventus Knight said that rotations would never be implemented, and then Justin Gary, or I think Gary, said that when it comes to that point when problems do arise, as far as like cards being ridiculous or yada yada yada, rotation would be their option of choice. And now I believe, due to the nature of, you know, how social media works and how text can be interpreted in many different ways, unless you're very thorough, it's like monkey's paw. You have to be very specific, or else you don't get what you want, and you get like the worst possible outcome of it. So, considering that, we went in kind of an uproar saying that, oh, rotations now! Get the women and children into life rafts! Go! And we didn't really pause to reflect on just what they really meant. They said that would be their preference, and Justin Gary coming from Magic as a background, that kind of makes the most sense. So, I come from Yu-Gi-Oh! And, you know, that should be blatantly clear, but I have dabbled in a lot of games. Magic's not one of them, but I have dealt with Pokemon. And I really am kind of iffy on the way Pokemon plays. I'm enjoying standard format right now. Like, I really like Dark Box, but my love, Turbo Darkrai, has been power creeped by Greninja Zoroark anyway, but still, Expanded allows you to play that. You're not going to play Darkrai EX in that unless it's the Dark Cloak one, but still, I can dream. And Turbo Dark is probably my favorite deck in the game, but Dark Box is easily a close second. I think formats, when given enough cards, and that's the kicker I'm going to explain in a second, Bakugan doesn't have that yet. It's very interesting to see the different decks that can come out of certain things not going, and sort of, this is going to give me a lot of flack, sort of like how Sword and Shield cut out a lot of Pokemon from the national decks. We've been able to see Pokemon that haven't been able to thrive at all actually do something in OU, because their checks are gone. Like, so it gives certain other decks a chance to rise when normally they wouldn't be able to, because another deck just simply exists. And the thing with rotations is, yes, it can be seen as a way to just constantly have to buy new things, and that's exhausting in a game that already costs so much to get in. Because, and I was going to do this in a separate video, but I kept, you know, getting sideswiped by a bunch of different video topics. This game is expensive. Like, not only do you have to get the cards, which is where all the other TCGs would stop, is you just need the cards, and granted, a lot of those cards are expensive, but that would be it. You just need your cards, and if you want to get fancy, crazy-ass $20 sleeves, and a mat. Like, even though someone topped the regionals with a McDonald's tray. Like, it's not necessary, but if you want to do that, that's your choice. That's where they would stop. But with Bakugan, not only do you need the cards, which, quite frankly, right now, it's expensive. Or they're hard to find, so technically they're expensive. And then you need the toys themselves. You need the toys, which a lot of those are pretty hard to come by, or you can flex with diamonds, but that's not what we're doing. Baseline. We're doing base. If you want to be a budget Bakugan player, which is very weird for me to say, because in a lot of other card games, that's like a known thing. Like, there are alternative options, but I feel like budget Bakugan doesn't exist, really. Because it's already just what you see is what you get. I guess being a budget Bakugan player could mean you run like kind of like crappier versions of what's already like pretty crazy. Like, instead of Hydronoid, you can run Garganoid. But even then, just buy the 3-pack of Hydronoid, because Aurelus Garganoid comes in a 5-pack, so that's not very budget. You're not going to be running around with Pyrus Howlkor, unless you spend a lot of money like me. Yeah, hard flex. I'm not even trying anymore. But not only do you have to buy toys and cards, you have to buy cores. Because if you have the wrong cores, you can lose a mirror match. Not just games in general, but a mirror match. You can lose that just because you couldn't find the cores that you wanted. And then you have to buy toys that you don't necessarily care for and can't really resale, because a lot of them come in poopy Bakugan that nobody wants. And you're just stuck with those. You spend $9 or $7 for a core. Only one usually, because the other core, they all come with 2. The other core probably sucks. They usually do. So you can definitely see rotation as a way to just kind of be a money grabber. And let me argue in the opposite way. It depends on the company. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a ban list. And I personally really like the ban list. But they are a company. And instead of treating the ban list to make that game healthy, they tend to do or implement the ban list in a way that, you know, a rotation would, in the sort of sense. Because they would ban all the decks that have been a problem, and they would shove new cards out that are way better than what they just nerfed. And they just kind of make the old things irrelevant just so the new stuff can shine. So it's basically dancing around a rotation anyway. But I feel like the Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG really genuinely cares about the health of the game. And that's where you see, like, a lot of the OCG lists, they are really good. And those who don't know and just play Bakugan, OCG is the Japanese list of Yu-Gi-Oh! And TCG is like America, Europe, you know, that kind. And the thing about rotation is, in regards to Pokemon, there are 2 formats, standard and expanded. And you hardly see expanded tournaments. They're hardly supported. Like, at the end of the day, there's only going to be like 1 Worlds, right? And they have to pick a format. They have to. And usually the expanded ones are the ones that go further back set-wise, and you're allowed to use a more wide range variety of cards, are cast to the wayside. And that's unfortunately what it is. They have to make a choice. And sure, you can play those formats casually, but in regards of playing competitively and trying to actually like compete at a very high level, you have to follow whatever format that they're going to put on a higher platform. That's what you have to do. Even if you don't agree with rotation, it's just, you know, I prefer a ban list for sure. Because obviously rotation, nevertheless, is not going to come out for a long time. We've only had 3 sets, technically 2. But we're not getting rotation for a long time. And one of the main arguments is Spin Master, whether or not they're capable of running multiple formats at a time. You know, Pokemon hardly is. Magic has like 15 different formats. And I'm not as well versed, so don't crucify me. But I believe that in the same light as Pokemon, they only focus at 1 format at a time too. I might be wrong. There are tons of fun formats in that, like Commander and Standard and other ones. Don't kill me, Nico. But that's because, and we also, on the side of a ban list, we don't have any problem cards either. Like, even when it comes to Aurelus Trox isn't really the issue. But if anything, if Aurelus Trox does become a widespread issue, I think the card to ban would be Clone Army, not Aurelus Trox. I'm not saying ban Clone Army. Obviously, it's not a problem. We'll have multiple people scooping. I think the first card to be banned will probably be Dragonoid Maximus, just because he's starting to get a bunch of crap that enables him so quickly. Like, it's like Exodia at 3. Like, it's like, okay, I guess we just lose now. So that would be probably the first card that's banned. And, like, how do you rotate Dragonoid Maximus out? Where was he in the waves? I might just be ignorant to this information, but how do you ban something like that just came out in a random one-off toy compared to, like, sets or cards or something like that? I feel like Bakugan isn't really the game to implement a rotation, because I don't think Spin Master keeps track of the waves. I think that's something that's fan-made, primarily. So I think that the best way would be a ban list, just because I feel like it would be less effort on Spin Master's part. Like, they would just go, yeah, Clone Army, bye. Ooh, Dragonoid Maximus, that's making a lot of people quit the game. Stop. So I really like ban lists. If they do it the right way for the longevity of the game, for the health of the game, I think that would be best, because I've heard a lot of people say, and again, this is in the panic of it all, that if rotation was implemented, they'd quit. And I gotta be honest, when seeing all the pro stuff last weekend, I was scared, because it looked so radically different than year 1 stuff. I thought it was a rotation, and I was talking with Ghostlights. I was like, yo, if they just say we can't use the year 1 stuff at a competitive level anymore, I think I'm out. I don't think I can do this anymore. Just because I spent so much money and time finding these diamonds, finding these Bakugan, finding these cards, and buying them in droves, that would have been a blow that I couldn't recover from. So I'm really glad that they stuck to their guns and didn't rotate year 1 out. I know a lot of people that were with me on that. So I really think banlist would be the easier choice, and like, they wouldn't have to support multiple formats. It would be so much easier. I know that they come from a Magic background and cards games of that variety, but I really think it would be easier. If we get a lot of sets and Bakugan Pro starts just kind of chugging along and starts being more evenly distributed, and we actually get the cards at a wide scale, and it's not a rarity to find the things that you need, I feel as long as they keep that going, like through multiple sets, as long as year 2 is stellar, like absolutely phenomenal, blows everyone back, makes year 1 look like a beta test, which it kind of does, but like way worse than that, like just blows us away. I would not be opposed to a rotation if there was a metaphorical gun to my head, if I had to play along. But I really do think banlists are the best choice. But yeah, either way, there's no reason to panic. Even if it were to be implemented, it's not for a long time. Not for a long time. So let me know. I'm actually curious. I want your input on this one. Maybe. Who knows? I'll probably just see the same 5 people in the comment section. I love you guys. You're the real ones. Bad boys. But I may have been missing some points, because this is just kind of, you know, per usual. This is just kind of speaking from the heart, from the top of the dome, you know, whatever. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback, and we can start a conversation in the comment section below. Do you think that a rotation format would be better? And this is both of these are saying that Bakugan is in a far better state than it is. It's an actual, like, card game. Like, it's off the ground, it's flying, it's rolling, you know. So would a rotation be better, or would you prefer a ban list? Please let me know. And haven't done one of these in a while. Feel free to like, subscribe. I'm probably doing that in the wrong order, but no, I guess they're on the same side, so I don't know what I'm doing. And I just want y'all to know, I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope the holidays are going great. I hope finals are not totally just dragging you in the mud. I know they are me. So with that, you guys have a blessed day. You guys have a great one, okay? You better. I'll find you. See ya.